Warning, warning, the following video contains doll nudity. Lots and lots of doll nudity because I'm going to be recording some very vintage dolls that I collected when I was younger, that most of which will be going to a thrift store very soon. I have not taken the time to dress them, so if looking at dolls not wearing clothing, something you would not like to see, I highly recommend clicking off this video now. Okay, now that's out of the way. I will show the dolls. Okay. Alright. So here are all of these dolls. Some of them I will be keeping, of course. I'm going to be keeping both of these Tiffany. These are the Tiffany Taylors. Tuesday Taylors are the small ones. I'm going to be keeping both of these Tiffany Taylors right here, as well as this Velvet. I also have a Chrissy I should have pulled out for this video. But, oh, and this Miss Revlon, because I'm going to be making a video about Miss Revlon soon. She's a doll I find really cool. I think I have a very cool Miss Revlon there. But other than that, all of these guys are going to Goodwill. So I'm just going to talk about all these guys real quick, as well as talk about how I got these guys. So back when I was in the 9th grade, just finished like literally my last day of 9th grade, I ordered a huge lot of dolls off the internet, and they all came. Now, I only ended up keeping like a very small handful of them, one of which was the Tiffany Taylor right there. The one actually with clothes. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I mainly just got them for the experience of unboxing them and to experiment with some different dolls, because this was a time before I knew about like smart dolls and the more like collectible dolls like toners, and I was just experimenting, and I think it was a cool purchase. And I hoped I could sell these guys, but that didn't happen. I just ended up having to keep the ones I want. I was able to sell like 5 of them, but other than that, they're all going to Goodwill, which I'm fine with. I've already donated a few, but I'm fine with that because other collectors will get these dolls and they'll get good homes, and they'll get them, honestly, hopefully for very cheap, and that makes me happy because I've gotten a lot of dolls like that, and I just think it's a good thing to do. If there's something you don't want, don't let it clutter up your home. Donate it, and hopefully another collector can find it, and they'll give it a really awesome home. So, we're going to start over here. So, this doll here, his eyes are, like, very shadowy like this. It's a little creepy. But I actually got him off Facebook Marketplace, as well as with this Chrissy here, who doesn't have her ponytail, unfortunately. But I played with them a good bit, but I'm going to be parting ways with them. I believe they're both Ideal dolls, because I don't know how much I've talked about on this channel yet, but I had a whole obsession with Ideal when I was younger, wrote a whole freaking research page on it, and, you know, in my opinion, this right here is like one of the best Ideal dolls there is. But, yeah, that's my thing about Ideal. But then we have this doll here, who's like a little music box doll. She's really cool. Let me see if I can get her to play some music for us. I don't want to knock everybody else over. Yeah, she plays music. She's real cute, and I love her hair, but I just don't have enough storage for her right now. Right here, we have a knockoff Miss Revlon. As you can tell by looking at these, this one over here is clearly better quality, but she's cute too, but I think I'm just going to be letting her go to someone who could play with her and love her more than I could. Then we have this little cutie here who I considered getting rid of her a long time ago, but she's just so cute, and I love her little dress. And then we have another knockoff Miss Revlon who is clearly not as pretty as the other two. Maybe she was when, I think her hair's been cut, but maybe she was back in her day, but like the quality of her body and stuff just really isn't to the same quality as this one over here is. But that's this knockoff Miss Revlon. And she came with a pretty dress that I've kept somewhere. Now, she is standing behind Dell Evans, who, it's sad because she is the sweetheart out of this bunch here. She's the best one. And someone was actually interested in her a long time ago when I was trying to sell them. And she didn't want it, which was sad because, I mean, nowadays I would just give it to her for free. But I find this really cool. Honestly, deep down inside, I want to keep her, but I don't. Right now, I'm just like, I have so much stuff I'm going through I need to get rid of, and unfortunately, one of the dolls I'm going to have to part ways with is going to be her. But she's so pretty. She's got her boots and everything. I actually did a little bit of research on her. She's a real cool doll. So I've been filming for about 5 minutes now. Little disclaimer time. I'm not affiliated or associated at all with anyone in any way. I'm just a regular girl who likes to make videos about the things she likes in her life. And my channel is not intended for anyone under the age of 13. I did this kind of late, so I might pop up like a little message in the video because that was a little late. I just got so fascinated talking about these guys I got distracted. But over here is my ideal Velvet doll, Chrissy's little cousin. Chrissy and Velvet, actually I have a cool story of them, is because I got my Chrissy when I was in the 8th grade. I got her for my birthday from my mom, and I went to school the next day and talked about her, and my teacher talked about that she had a Chrissy growing up, and her, I believe it was her little sister, had a Velvet, and I remember that, like, we talked about them, and I used to stay for tutoring with that teacher, and she just talked about her dolls, and I told her about mine, and she thought that that was so cool that I collect vintage toys, because I used to talk to this teacher a lot. It was really nice, but I always kind of, like, hold on to that memory when I look at my Chrissy and Velvet dolls, because they're a little bit more than collectibles to me, because I remember those memories I had back then. But so I told you I got my Chrissy when I was in the 8th grade. I actually found her at a local thrift store, which was really cool. Antique store, actually. But I wanted a Velvet, but I remember that I could never find a Velvet person. Like, I would find Chrissy's all the time, but I could never find a Velvet. Then I was looking on eBay, and I remember that this was back when I didn't have a job, and before there was, like, a lot of things I could do that make my own money because I was a little bit younger. I know that I had, like, $20, and I was like, well, the right Velvet for me, I will find her under $20 with an outfit. And I found this talking Velvet who actually freaking talked, y'all, when I got her, but only for, like, the first hour because I kind of overdid it. But I got her for $18 with this little dress, which is not a, it's more of a shirt. But she was the Velvet for me, and I was going to restore her, work on her, and I didn't get around to it, but that's something I can hopefully do now, and I love her. And then we have this Princess Diana doll who, she has seen her better days. Hopefully when I donate her, someone will love her and clean her up for me. I already talked about the Chrissy here, but now we have a much more vintage doll. I was looking at the back of this doll's head, and I'll show it to you, but she is from, I guess it would be like a company. Let me lay down and, but her neck says Jolly Toys Inc., I think, 1960. So she's an older, oh no, she's definitely an older doll. And to be honest, she's not the cutest in my opinion, but I feel like, you know, she's an older doll. She's lived that long. This doll's 60, wait, no. This doll is 60 years old. This is crazy. So, that is really cool. She's over 60 years old. She's 63 years old. So that's cool. I like vintage dolls like that. She's only 1 year older, only 1 year younger than the original #1 Barbie. So, that's cool. I'm going to set her over here. And then this doll, I'm going to donate him because I don't need him in my collection. I don't collect this kind of thing. And these are like markers. So poor guy, some little kid probably just went to town and marked up his face. But I remember when I was in the ninth grade, just graduated 9th grade. No, I just finished 9th grade. And my pop, because my pop, he was growing up in like the 60s, 70s. He was like a kid in the 60s, young adult in the 70s, but he had 2 older sisters, and they had a lot of dolls from around this time. I have already donated and sold some of them, so most of the ones I'm talking about have already been donated or sold, but my pop was looking at this one especially, and I think that we discovered that this one was like really old, like the oldest one I had. Do not quote me on this at all, because I do not remember, but I'm kind of wanting to think that this would have been like 1940s something. But this doll, he's interesting. He cries. Now it just sounds like a creepy horn, but I believe that's supposed to be cries. And I mean, in a way I don't want to donate him because he's so old. Like, this is such a piece of history. But sadly, he's going to be going to Goodwill. And hopefully there'll be someone like a vintage doll enthusiast who will get him. They'll wash up his pretty face. And you never know. Maybe they'll see this video and they'll hear his little story behind him. But I have pretty much talked about... Oh, I gotta talk about the Taylors. The Tiffany Taylors. So, when I was in my Ideal Obsession days, Okay, so actually let me start like this. So the same store, actually the exact same booth that I got my Chrissy at, they had a lot of Ideal toys, but they also had 3 of the Tiffany Taylors. And I remember that they all had a different outfit, and I have just like recently watched the ad for Tiffany Taylor on YouTube, and I remember thinking that she was such a pretty doll, and I really wanted her. And I didn't have any money, but my sweet Nana ended up buying, well, I can only afford half of her. She was like $15, I think. My Nana ended up buying her, like, half of her for me. And I remember that I loved her so much, and she was one of my very favorite dolls for a long time. I love that you can switch her hair from brown to blonde. I'm using one hand to record, but I'll show you the gimmick, but then I'm going to turn it around because it's difficult to style, but as you see, she can go from a brown-haired girl to a blonde naturally, as they said in the commercial. But she's real cool, and what I would like to do, and I believe this is the one, because I mean, I don't know for sure, but I believe this is the one I got at the thrift store when I was a kid. But I want to have like one of these guys be a brown all the time and the other one be a blonde. Now, these guys are definitely going to need some attention, a spa day, so hopefully that's something I can do. I have so much doll stuff I want to do, so much stuff I can record and talk about on my channel. So I hope that y'all would all tune in for it. But this is another thing I used to collect. Something else I care about a lot is really vintage older dolls. So you'll be seeing more of that soon. I really want to make a video on Miss Revlon. This Miss Revlon I got when... her wig's hung. I got this Miss Revlon when I was in the 9th grade. I actually had a really sad time in my life where I had a lot going on with, like OCD. I was in a state where I feel like I was very mentally sick, but something that was a bit of a distraction for me was the Revlon line of dolls. I, got this one off eBay. I got an amazing deal on her because, as you can see, she has her original hairnet. I mean, look at her. She's got her jewelry and her makeup's next to spotless, and she's got her earrings, which will probably, like... I need to take those out because that can cause like green ear and stuff. But why she was so cheap is because she's got a little bit of discoloration on her face. Let me lean her like this. But you can't tell in this video, but like this part of her face here is a like more orangey, like pinkish undertone than up here. This up here's got more of like a white greenish undertone. I'm not sure what happened, if it's some type of like mole, like no, not mole, but like I don't know what exactly caused that. It's kind of interesting, but if anything, it's gotten better over time. I want to think it was a little bit more noticeable when I first got her, but I mean, I like her. I think she's really cool. Because I also went through some times, like, I was really not into, like, vintage dolls, and I hung on to her all that time, and now she survived it all, and Revlon's a real cool doll for collectors. I'm realizing that more now as I get more into, like, the doll collecting world than just, like, so I don't want to necessarily say, like, someone that did it, like, smaller time, like, more of a bigger time doll collector. I'm realizing more about that, and I think I have a really cool one, and I think I need to give her a spa day, get her a nice dress, and officially welcome her to my doll collection, as well as my Taylors as I clean them up. Velvet and Chrissy will probably eventually go, but they might more be like in my bonus room where I keep a few things, but I just really wanted to show these off to you, not just so, well, I mean, a lot of it so you guys can see it, but too so I can look back on this when a lot of these dolls are hopefully in the hands of other collectors or even kids that enjoy them, and I can remember the memories I have of these guys. Because even though, like, I'll be getting rid of the little creepy crying doll that my grandpa told me about, I remember this doll as one of the ones in this group that I considered so long. And I will be parting ways with Dell Evans, who I think is just freaking cool, but there's a better home for her out there somewhere else. And yeah, I'll have these guys gone, I'll have more space, and someone else will hopefully have some real cool dolls. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Say bye, everybody. Bye. Guys, screw it. On second thought, he's too sentimental. This little creepy doll is going to stay somewhere as long as I can find a little bit of storage for him.